Whether it's Le Mans, Monaco, Daytona Beach, certain cities are synonymous with motorsports, and that has to include Indianapolis, Indiana. Yes, the home of the Indy 500, but tonight it's the home of Monster Jam. One more time in the RCA Dome. The action is next here on Monster Jam. Hello again, Monster Jam fans. I'm Scott Douglas, welcoming you to Indianapolis, Indiana. This is a history-filled night, the final event ever to be held in the RCA Dome. This building will be torn down and a brand new Lucas Oil Stadium will be built for the Indianapolis Colts, and Monster Jam will be scheduled to move into that building next year. So it's plenty of history tonight, plenty of tradition. Everyone wants to get the last win here in the RCA Dome. In racing, only two drivers will have a shot at it as we go to the championship race. One of them, the youngster Aaron Basil in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, and boy does he have a tough assignment. He will have to take on the sport's only seven-time world champion Tom Meents, and not only is it Basil against Meents? It's Basil against Meents on what Tom considers his home turf, very close to his Paxton, Illinois home. Fans and friends from all over Illinois and Indiana are here to cheer Meents on. But right now, the kid's hanging in there with him. Aaron Basil giving Tom Meents all he wants in the championship race here in Indianapolis. As they come flying across that finish line, it is close. Tom Meents has got the edge. They got to go through the turn one more time, though. Coming off of that turn, and that will be a 5-second penalty. That is going to decide it right there. Meents had him beat anyway, but when Basil knocked over the turning pole, the 5-second penalty means it's all over. And Tom Meents, in maximum destruction, as he has done over the years, has a victorious run at the RCA Dome in Indianapolis. It's a special win, and Leslie Mears is going to talk to him.
Tom, that was amazing. You had that really fast run. You've been fast all night, a 26 and 72 in the semifinals.
Hey, I had a lot of people here tonight watching me. They all don't think I can race because I haven't ever won here in a long time, but hey, after tonight, I proved I can. Woo!
Yeah, we didn't see a lot of big air out there, but you really seemed to just take control of the course.
Hey, racing's all about control. Freestyle is all about stupid. I got the stupid bar down pat. I can't wait to get out there and tear it out.
Both elements just awesome. And how did you make that amazing save at the end?
Just showing off, man. Been waiting all night to do something cool. Finally got a chance.
Well, you saw it, folks. It's awesome. It's Tom Meents. Let's hear it. Maximum destruction!
So Tom Meents a winner in racing, but there's another big trophy on the line, and it is for our freestyle winner. And we get underway with the freestyle competition. First up is Paul Cohen in the Bob and Tom Ford. Now, Bob and Tom, a radio station program syndicated throughout the country, but it is based out of Indianapolis. So every time the Monster Jam stars return to Indy, they always sponsor a Team Meents truck. This is the teammate truck to Tom Meents' Maximum Destruction. Paul Cohen, a veteran, being hired by Team Meents for this one run to come in and really burn this place up, driving the Bob and Tom Ford, and Cohen can flat get the job done. Paul Cohen is a very experienced driver. Formerly ran the Air Force Afterburner among other trucks, but is really better known in the industry as a truck builder. One of the best in the business at building these 10,000-pound, 1,500 horsepower machines. And now he is back on the track, and it looks like he's just having a blast. Stands it straight up and down. Still 30 seconds on the clock, and you can see the time ticking down in the upper left-hand corner of your screen. Each of these drivers expected to fill the full 90 seconds, and if there's any time left on the clock, the judges are instructed to deduct at least a point from the score that they would have otherwise given the truck. There are 3 judges, all fans selected to decide the scores. They can give each truck 1 for a low or 10 for a high. We'll add the scores together, and 30 would be a perfect score from the judges. Well, Paul Cohen will indeed fill the clock to start this competition off, and certainly his local radio station sponsors, the Bob and Tom Show, have to be thrilled with this phenomenal performance. What a way to start it off. Paul Cohen turning the crowd on, but the judges are going to be tough here. It's a star-studded field, and the scores only total to 17 for Paul Cohen in the Bob and Tom Ford. Now, veteran Chad Fortune, a 6'6" former professional football player, former professional wrestler, but for the last half dozen years or so has been a Monster Jam superstar, and he is flying high here in Indianapolis, driving Superman. Great shots from our cameras, as you can see when they go into the crowd. Every seat in the RCA Dome is sold. It's a capacity crowd as fans want a piece of history to be a part of this final Monster Jam event in the RCA Dome. Again, this building will be torn down as a new stadium is being built for the professional football Indianapolis Colts of the National Football League. And of course, Monster Jam looking forward to another new venue to run in. Still, some sadness with the tradition going away here at the RCA Dome, a building that has seen Monster Jam action for well over a decade, and some phenomenal performances from the likes of Tom Mentz and even this guy, Chad Fortune, in the past. And look at Fortune go here, flying that Superman truck over some big league obstacles. The track builders with the Monster Jam crew have set some huge obstacles all over this floor, and that's allowing these superstars to get this big air we're enjoying on this edition of Monster Jam. Chad Fortune down to his final 10 seconds. It looks like he will have no problem filling the clock to be able to get the maximum score that the judges will want to give him. We'll see what that score is in just a moment. Fortune, look out, up on two wheels and is able to pull her back down. A nice save to wrap up the run for Chad Fortune and Superman. He doesn't want to quit even though the clock stopped. How about some donuts? The awesome things these drivers can do with these amazing Monster Jam machines, and you see it right there with Chad Fortune really giving the fans a great show. And on this final run of the RCA Dome, it's very clear that he's not worried about the score at this point because the judges have already posted their scores. We'll see them in a moment. This is just bonus for the Monster Jam fans, and Chad Fortune giving them what they came to see, and he's going to take the lead with strong scores. 8, 7, and 7, so it's a total of 22 for Chad Fortune and Superman. Now Jim Benzik and Rolling Thunder, one of the up-and-coming stars in Monster Jam, and this is a big opportunity for Benzik and Rolling Thunder. He has been running throughout the year mostly in smaller arena-type events, and to be able to get here on a televised major stadium show in a dome like the RCA Dome, a big opportunity for Benzik. Nice sky wheelie right there. The truck does not sound at 100% though. Some smoke, some problems for Jim Benzik and Rolling Thunder. Let's see if he can fight his way through it, or if this is going to cost him a chance at getting a good score. Yeah, it really looks like he's done. That truck just not cooperating. Smoke coming out of it, and that's going to end the run. Unfortunately for Jim Benzik, the scores obviously are going to be low, and it's only a total of 7 for Rolling Thunder. Well, now the flamboyant Mark Schrader brings the Devastator onto the track. Schrader, who also doubles as a television commentator for Monster Jam events. This week, he's racing. He's behind the wheel of his Devastator machine. Score to beat is a 22. Chad Fortune and Superman currently sitting in the hot seat. That's where the leader will go until somebody gets a better score and knocks him out of the hot seat. Now, it appeared to be a problem. The Monster Jam official, you can see on the screen, is taking a look at the truck, checking with Schrader to make sure everything's okay. And now I think Mark's going for a power wheelie. Look at that. Almost defying the laws of gravity as he goes from a standing stop, and that truck has so much power, he is able to lift the front wheels off the ground, and you saw it right there, carry the wheelie all the way across the floor. Maybe the most impressive moment so far in this outstanding freestyle here on Monster Jam. Schrader with 23 seconds left. He'd love to fill the clock. With that big power wheelie move that's got everybody excited here, he's got a chance to maybe get the lead, but if he's going to do it, he needs to finish big. And that's big. Just go back and do it again at the other end of the RCA Dome. What power from the Devastator. Mark Schrader will fill the clock, and I've got to believe this run is going to give Chad Fortune and Superman a big challenge to see who the leader is going to be early on in this competition. What a performance, and it's going to put him in a tie. We have a tie for the lead. But Now keep your eyes on this guy because he is a wild man. Chris Bergeron and Brutus coming out of Columbus, Michigan. Brutus known for wild, wild rides. Bergeron will drive the wheels off this truck. His problem in scoring is that sometimes he goes too big too early and will flip the truck over, leaving too much time on the clock. And as we documented earlier, the judges will deduct points for something like that. No, they won't for that because he saved it. I thought he was going over. Nice save by Chris Bergeron. So the run continues for the big dog out of Michigan. Oh, Bergeron's in trouble here. Look at this. He does not even use half the time, and that's why the judges have to give him low scores. He was spectacular, what we've come to expect, but it's only a score of 15 simply because he did not fill the clock. Well, freestyle continues with one of the most popular trucks to run anywhere at any Monster Jam over the entire world. It's the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle, and whether we're in a pit party here in Indianapolis or on one of the Monster Jam World Tour stops, say in Europe, the Turtle is always popular with the kids, and the lines at the pit party to get the autograph of the driver, always huge. And Aaron Basil loving driving it. You can see the youngster really getting after the donuts, off to a strong start. Remember, Basil is having one of the best nights of his young career. He already made it into the championship race. Even though he lost to Maximum Destruction, he still finishes in the runner-up spot in this star-studded field here in Indianapolis. Inside the final 40 seconds. Nice elevation, big air right there from Aaron Basil and the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. Another round of donuts. He's going to try and get him going. Here he goes. Nicely done, but he's still got 17 seconds left. Needs to finish big. I don't know if this is enough in the minds of the judges to get the lead away from Superman and Devastator. He's going to be close. And he will fill the clock as we tick down to the final 3 seconds. Still relatively new in the sport, Aaron Basil, whose brother Darren drives the El Matador truck, and Aaron doing a nice job here in Indianapolis. Even though the clock's full, the judges turning their scores in, he's going to go ahead and give the fans a little bit of bonus action. You know, it's all about the Monster Jam fans. His best moves came after the scores were turned in. He comes up a little bit short. 19 is the score for Aaron Basil and the Turtle. Now, Carl Van Horn and T-Max racing out of Elizabeth City, North Carolina. Former Team Gravedigger driver who decided he wanted kind of to get his own persona and got the opportunity to take over the ride for the Traxxas T-Max team and has been looking good ever since he hopped behind the wheel of this powerful Ford. Something doesn't sound right early on, though. The truck may be having some motor issues, not sure. Well, no, now he's got it going, but that's not going to help him. He flips it over way too early. It just sounded like the truck wasn't quite right, and then he goes over early, so 6 is going to be the total score, well short of what he had hoped for. Now, Mr. Excitement, the 2003 Monster Jam World Freestyle Champion, Jim Kohler and the Avenger. By the way, if you are into classic cars, even though this is a Monster Jam truck, it is a body style that resembles a 1957 Chevrolet Bel Air. And Jim Kohler, one of the best in the game when it comes to freestyling, will leave nothing in the pits. He's going to lay it all on this track, no doubt about it. Now, that white flag that is flying off the back of that machine as he gets some huge air signifies that Kohler has already been invited back to this year's Monster Jam NGK Spark Plug World Finals, where he will go for a racing championship and where he has a much better opportunity, the chance to try and win a second World Freestyle title. And look at that. As he ran through the motorhome, he totally destroys all the body work on the front end of the truck, but it doesn't look like it's done any chassis damage. He's still running strong. That's all superficial right there. That's just cosmetic. He can keep running the truck. Kohler in a little bit of trouble. Oh, he couldn't save it. Needed it to bounce back, and he didn't get quite the right bounce. Still, the fans love it. He, too, will tie for the lead. We're looking at a three-way tie, and the score is a 22. Now it's Mark McDonald, one of the rising stars in Monster Jam and the Safe Auto Minimizer. McDonald has made a name for himself in his first few years of racing, more in the racing competitions, where he's been very fast. Last year at the Monster Jam NGK Spark Plugs World Finals, he was actually the second fastest qualifier in that 24 truck field. But it was also on that night in Las Vegas that he showed everybody that he's really coming on in freestyle, as he ended up finishing in the top 5 at the World Championships. A title actually won by Pablo Huffaker, who we will see later in this program. And McDonald is looking good early on. It's a three-way tie for the lead. Can Mark McDonald jump over the score of 22 that has created the log jam in the hot seat? He's looking pretty good right now. He's got a shot. If he finishes strong this last 30 seconds, we may have ourselves a new leader, because McDonald is doing several of the things you should do in freestyle. Tons of momentum, always heading for something, always attacking another obstacle. And McDonald is doing a great job. Final 15 seconds for McDonald. Looking for something special to finish it up with. And right now he's kind of in a no man's land. Nothing there for him to hit because everything's beaten down so far, and the Avenger destroyed that mobile home, not leaving him a whole lot. So he will fill the clock, and Mark McDonald does an outstanding job. The question is, what do the judges think? Look at that leap here, and they will be able to score that. Once the clock goes 0, the judges will score one more move, and that's got to impress them as well. You want to leave the judges with a big thought, something that they've seen right before they turn those scorecards that really impresses them, and I think Mark McDonald did just that in the Safe Auto Minimizer, sponsored by the Safe Auto Insurance Company. He will flip it over well after the clock runs. The judges like it because we've got a new leader. It's a 24 for Mark McDonald, so Safe Auto's in first, but he may not stay there long because here comes Metz. 7-time world champion. He's won 4 world freestyle championships, 3 world racing titles, and nobody gets bigger air than this guy. That's why they call him the King of Air. Tom Metz and Maximum Destruction. Wow, look at the elevation. Metz coming off another busy year, spent several weeks running in Europe on the Monster Jam World Tour, including one of the most impressive freestyles we saw all year long in Gothenburg, Sweden. Now, back in the States, and as I mentioned earlier, very close to his Paxton, Illinois home. Literally thousands of fans and friends from all over Illinois and Indiana packed in here to cheer him on. And oh, look at that. He doesn't care if there's trucks in the way or not. He's going to run into anything that he sees, and that includes his other competitors sitting innocently in the pit area. Metz has given us so far and away the biggest air of the night, and he's still got 30 seconds left. Look at the height of these jumps. And a little nudge for one of the current leaders as he bumps into the Devastator. Down to the final 20 seconds. Let's see what Metz has got to close out his final run ever in one of his greatest buildings ever, the RCA Dome. He will fill the clock as it ticks down inside the final 5 seconds. You can bet one thing, he has no intention of stopping until this truck is torn up or it breaks down on it. Metz has filled the clock. The judges will be allowed to score one more move after the clock goes to zeros, and he's not done. So they're still looking at this. And it'll be an awesome sky wheelie across thread move as he came in from the side of that obstacle. Tom Metz putting on a show, and the fans are loving it in Indianapolis. Now, this is bonus for the fans. The judges have turned in their scorecards. We'll see them in a moment. But Metz, and he says, do you want more? Look at that. The hand out the window. They want it. He's going to give it to them. Oh my, some of the biggest air of the night from Tom Metz and Maximum Destruction, and it's in the bonus period. It's not being scored. This is just an encore for the fans, if you will. Tom Metz, who always makes sure his fans get their money's worth and more, doing it again. And how's that for parking it right in his pit stall? Nah, he doesn't want to park it yet. Maximum Destruction. Look at the fans on their feet, loving every minute of Max D. Another huge leap. There's no question he has just dwarfed the air that all the other trucks have gotten. Now, I'm not a judge, but there is absolutely no way this run does not take the lead. He has to have the lead. What a performance. And again, the scores are already in. He's just giving the fans more, and look at that. Maybe his biggest leap of the night comes at the end of an encore performance. Tom Meents said his last run in the RCA Dome, he was going to make it memorable, and the judges loved it. It's a perfect score of 30 for Tom Meents. And now he's having some fun with his Monster Jam fans. And if you've seen Tom before, you probably know what's coming here. He is going to take the helmet off of his head, go up in the stands and find a fan to give it to. And almost always, he's going to find a young fan who has a Maximum Destruction sign. And look at this. There's the Max D sign, and there's the youngster getting his helmet. So Tom Meents has a 30. Here's the situation. Pablo Huffaker cannot outscore him. All he can hope to do is equal the 30 that Tom got in the scoring of the judges and hope to win the tiebreaker. Pablo Huffaker and Gravedigger, you can already see pieces hanging off the suspension of that truck. Well, if it does not stop the truck from running, it's not going to stop Pablo from freestyling. One of the premier Team Gravedigger drivers, of course, there's 7 of them, but other than Dennis Anderson, it is the native Texan, Pablo Huffaker, you're seeing right here, who has been with the team second longest in terms of Gravedigger driving tenure. And last year, for the Monster Jam NGK Spark Plugs World Finals, he left the Gravedigger team to drive for the new Captain's Curse team and won the Monster Jam World Freestyle Championship. Right now, though, all he cares about is trying to get a 30 on the board to equal the score that Tom Meents put up. And look at the air from Pablo. He has taken the challenge from Maximum Destruction, and Gravedigger's going after him. How about this? And you can see the truck has got some damage. The body kind of leaning over on the chassis. At least one bar kind of hanging off. And it's just not stopping Pablo Huffaker. He is going to fill the clock, and he's going to fill it with a very impressive run. The question is, do the judges think it was as impressive as what Tom Meents did? And what you have to remember when you're watching this and trying to figure out what the judges are going to do, a lot of the spectacular action we saw from Tom came after the scores were already in. He had already gotten to 30, and he kept going on. So will the judges give Pablo that same number? Because he is going for it. The scores from Pablo are now being turned in. We'll get him in a minute, but let's watch, because he's not stopping either. You talk about getting your money's worth and more, you always do at Monster Jam. And Gravedigger and Maximum Destruction giving the fans a whole lot of bonus here in Indianapolis this final time in the historic RCA Dome. Again, the truck is hurt, but Huffaker will not stop. And look at this. What an encore. First from Maximum Destruction, and then this encore from Pablo Huffaker and Gravedigger. The fans in Indianapolis absolutely loving this display from the two greatest rivals in motorsports, Team Gravedigger, Team Maximum Destruction, and they both have left it all out on this Indianapolis floor. Pablo will wrap it up right there. The judges will score him with a 30 as well. Let's get on to Leslie, who's with Pablo.
Wow, Pablo, all I can say is that was crazy.
That was insane, but you guys are the best in the country. You guys have been supporting us here for over 20-some odd years. If we're going to tear this place down, we're going to tear our junk up doing it. Thank you, guys.
Well put, Pablo. What a performance, and fittingly, it's going to end in a tie between the great runs of Gravedigger and Maximum Destruction. That's the kind of action you see every time you turn on your TV and catch us coming from all over the world. We'll see you with more action next time here on Monster Jam.